You were taught that love is sacred, that giving yourself completely to someone makes you noble, that sacrifice in the name of romance is the highest form of human connection. But what if everything you believe about love was designed to keep you weak? What if the very emotions you call pure were nothing more than invisible chains, holding you back from your true potential? This isn't a conversation about cynicism. This is about truth, the uncomfortable, raw truth that most men will never hear because they're too afraid to question the narrative they've been fed since childhood. If you're watching this, you're already different. You're already searching for something beyond the fairy tales. And what you're about to discover will change the way you see desire, relationships, and your own power forever. Before we go deeper, if this resonates with you, subscribe to this channel and leave a comment with the word will, because this isn't content for the masses. This is for the few who are ready to see beyond the illusion. Let's start with a question that will disturb you. What if love isn't what you think it is? What if the feelings you call romance, passion, and connection are just sophisticated programming? Nature doesn't care about your happiness. It doesn't care about your dreams, your goals, or your sense of fulfillment. Nature cares about one thing: reproduction, the survival of the species. And it has designed the most brilliant trap in human history to ensure you play your part. Think about it. That overwhelming desire you feel when you meet someone attractive, that obsession that consumes your thoughts, that willingness to change your entire life for another person, where does it come from? You call it love, but it's not love, it's biology wearing a mask. It's the will to life, as Schopenhauer called it, using you as a vehicle for its own agenda. The romantic narrative tells you that finding the right person will complete you, that true love is about unity, about becoming one with another soul. But this is the greatest lie ever sold. Because the moment you believe you need someone else to be whole, you've already lost. You've handed over your power. You've made yourself a servant to an instinct that doesn't serve you, it serves the continuation of the species. Every love song, every romantic movie, every story about soulmates and eternal devotion, they all reinforce the same message: give yourself away. Surrender your independence. Make another person the center of your universe. And millions of men do exactly that, wondering why they feel empty even when they get what they wanted. If you're starting to see the pattern, drop a like on this video, because what comes next will challenge everything you've been conditioned to believe. Here's something they don't teach you. Men and women operate on fundamentally different frequencies. Not better or worse, just different. And understanding this difference is the key to mastering yourself instead of being mastered by desire. Man, by his nature, is the architect of transcendence. He looks at chaos and creates order. He sees a problem and builds a solution. He takes raw potential and transforms it into reality. This is his essence. The masculine energy is about expansion, creation, conquest, not of people, but of challenges, of limitations, of his own weakness. Woman, by her nature, is the instrument of continuity. She nurtures, protects, and ensures survival. Her power lies in stability, in creating the conditions for life to flourish. This isn't about superiority, it's about function. It's about the roles that nature has embedded into our biology, whether we like it or not. Man seeks meaning, woman serves life. And life, by its nature, doesn't want you free, it wants you useful. It wants you reproducing, protecting, providing. It wants you trapped in the cycle of survival, distracted from the bigger questions, from the deeper work, from your true purpose. The problem begins when a man mistakes his desire for a woman as his purpose, when he confuses the biological pull toward reproduction with his reason for existing. This is where he loses himself. This is where he stops being a creator and becomes a reactor, shaped by his cravings instead of his vision. Think about the last time you were deeply attracted to someone. Remember how your thoughts shifted, how your priorities changed, how suddenly this person became the lens through which you viewed everything else. Your work became less important. Your goals became negotiable. Your standards became flexible. This is the will taking control. This is nature using desire to redirect your energy away from your mission and toward its own agenda. Comment awake if you've experienced this shift and didn't realize what was happening until it was too late. Let's go deeper into the trap. The modern man doesn't love, he surrenders. He doesn't choose a partner, he abandons himself for validation. And this is the pattern that destroys him. He starts strong, confident, focused on his path. Then he meets a woman who ignites his desire. In the beginning, she admires his strength, his direction, his independence. But then something shifts. He starts to orbit around her. His time becomes her time. His energy becomes her energy. His attention, which was once focused on building something meaningful, becomes fragmented, scattered, desperate for her approval. He thinks he's showing love. He thinks he's being a good partner. But what he's actually doing is dismantling the very thing that attracted her in the first place. Here's the brutal truth. The same passion that made her admire you becomes the reason she despises you. Because desire doesn't flow toward neediness. Desire flows toward power, toward mystery, toward someone who has a life so compelling that she has to fight for a place in it. Not someone who hands over his entire existence the moment she shows interest. Watch what happens in most relationships. The man, intoxicated by desire, begins to sacrifice his purpose. He stops going to the gym because she wants more time together. He cancels plans with his circle because she feels neglected. He lowers his standards, tolerates disrespect, accepts behavior he would never accept from anyone else, all because he's terrified of losing her. And the more he sacrifices, the less she respects him. The more he gives, the less she values what she receives. This isn't cruelty, this is nature. Women are biologically wired to seek strength, stability, and direction. Not because they're shallow, but because these traits signal survival. And when a man loses his center, when he becomes emotionally dependent, when he needs her more than she needs him, her instincts tell her something is wrong. He's no longer the prize. He's become the burden. If this makes you uncomfortable, good. Discomfort is the first sign that you're waking up. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. Here's the law that governs all human relationships, the law that nobody wants to admit. Desire always flows toward power, not dominance. Not control, power, the power that comes from self-mastery, from knowing who you are and what you stand for regardless of who's watching. The one who needs the least controls the most. Read that again. The one who needs the least controls the most. This isn't manipulation. This is reality. In any dynamic, romantic or otherwise, the person who is less emotionally invested holds the leverage. The person who can walk away without breaking maintains the frame. The person who has options, who has a life beyond the relationship, who doesn't collapse when things get difficult, that's the person who commands respect. Feminine desire is attracted to mystery, to strength, to a man who has direction. But masculine desire, when left unchecked, is easily enslaved by appearance and emotion. A pretty face, a moment of intimacy, a hint of validation, and suddenly a man who was building empires is scrolling through her social media at 3 in the morning, wondering why she hasn't texted back. This is the asymmetry that destroys men. Women are attracted to what you are. Men are attracted to what they see. And if you don't master this difference, you will always be at a disadvantage. You will always be the one chasing, the one hoping, the one rearranging your life to fit into hers. The rare man understands this. He feels desire deeply, but he doesn't let it dictate his decisions. He's attracted, but he's not possessed. He enjoys her presence, but he doesn't need it to feel whole, and because of this, he becomes the exception. He becomes the man that women pursue, not because he plays games, but because he has something more valuable than attention. He has purpose. Drop a comment with the word power if you're committed to becoming this kind of man. There are two types of men in this world. The first is moved by instinct. He reacts to his cravings. He seeks pleasure, validation, comfort. He's constantly looking outside himself for proof that he matters, that he's worthy, that he's enough. This man is a slave, even if he doesn't realize it. He's controlled by his appetites, by his need for approval, by his fear of being alone. The second type of man is moved by consciousness. He feels the same desires, the same temptations, but he doesn't surrender to them. He observes them, he understands them, and then he chooses his response. This man isn't denying his nature. He's mastering it. He's using his awareness to rise above the automatic patterns that trap most men in cycles of desperation and disappointment. You don't escape the will by denying it. You escape it by mastering it. This is the difference between suppression and transcendence. Suppression is pretending you don't feel desire, bottling it up, lying to yourself. Transcendence is acknowledging the desire, understanding its source, and then deciding whether acting on it serves your higher purpose or distracts from it. The man who knows himself has done the difficult work of examining his motivations. He's asked the uncomfortable questions. Why do I want this? Is this desire about connection or conquest? Am I seeking partnership or validation? Am I choosing this person because she enhances my life or because I'm afraid of being alone? These questions separate the conscious man from the reactive man. And the answers determine whether he builds a life of meaning or wastes decades in relationships that drain him. Self-knowledge is your greatest weapon, because once you understand what drives you, you can't be manipulated by it. Once you see the patterns, you can't unsee them. And once you realize that your value doesn't come from being desired, but from the strength of your character and the quality of your work, you become immune to the games that destroy weaker men. If you're ready to do this level of inner work, subscribe to this channel. Because everything we create here is about helping you become the man who operates from consciousness, not compulsion. Here's the reframe that will liberate you. She's not your destination. She's the test that shows if you've lost your way. A woman in your life isn't the prize you work toward. She's the mirror that reflects whether you've maintained your center or abandoned it for the illusion of romance. Most men treat relationships as achievements. I got the girl. I won. But this mindset reveals a fundamental misunderstanding of what power actually is. Real power isn't about acquisition. It's about autonomy. It's about being so grounded in your purpose that external circumstances, including the presence or absence of a romantic partner, don't shake your foundation. The true test of a man's strength isn't whether he can attract a woman. Any man with basic social skills and decent looks can do that. The test is whether he can be in a relationship without losing himself, whether he can feel love without becoming dependent, whether he can experience desire without being controlled by it. This is the mark of mastery. When you see a woman as proof rather than a prize, everything changes. You stop performing for her approval. You stop contorting yourself to fit her expectations. You stop making her the center of your universe, waiting for her to validate your existence. Instead, you include her in a life that was already meaningful. You share your journey with her, but you don't hand over the map. This doesn't mean being cold or distant. It means being whole. It means bringing your complete self to the relationship, not a fragmented version of yourself that's desperate for her to fill the gaps. The man who doesn't need to be desired to feel valuable is the man who naturally attracts the highest quality partners. Because he's not chasing, he's not begging. He's simply being, and that authenticity is magnetic. The moment you stop needing her to stay is the moment she wants to. The moment you're willing to walk away from anything that compromises your peace is the moment you gain true freedom. This isn't about withholding love. It's about loving from a position of strength, not scarcity. Comment clarity if this perspective is shifting how you see relationships. Let's talk about the man you're becoming, the rare man. The one who exists outside the matrix of need and validation. This man is not common. In fact, he's so rare that most people will misunderstand him. They'll call him cold. They'll accuse him of being unavailable. They'll project their own insecurities onto his self-sufficiency, but he doesn't need them to understand. He's not performing for an audience. The rare man desires, but he doesn't surrender. He feels attraction, powerful attraction, but he doesn't let it override his judgment. He can be in the presence of beauty without losing his composure. He can experience rejection without questioning his worth. He can love deeply without making someone else responsible for his happiness. The rare man loves, but he never loses focus. His mission comes first, always, not because he doesn't care about relationships, but because he understands that a man without purpose is a man without power, and a man without power has nothing valuable to offer anyone, including the woman he claims to love. So he protects his time, his energy, his vision. He includes others in his world, but he doesn't build his world around them. The rare man can be with someone, but he never depends. This is the ultimate freedom: to enjoy companionship without being enslaved by it, to appreciate intimacy without being addicted to it, to share your life with someone while maintaining complete ownership of your path. This level of emotional independence terrifies most people because it means you can't be controlled. You can't be manipulated with affection. You can't be threatened with abandonment. You've become untouchable. The rare man doesn't chase love, he attracts respect. And respect is far more valuable than infatuation. Respect is what remains when the initial attraction fades. Respect is what builds partnerships that last. Respect is earned through consistency, boundaries, and unwavering commitment to your principles. When a woman respects you, she doesn't test you endlessly. She doesn't play games. She rises to meet your standard because she recognizes that you're not just another option, you're the option. This is who you're becoming. Not by pretending to be someone you're not, but by doing the work to become the most authentic, powerful version of yourself. By choosing purpose over pleasure, by choosing growth over comfort, by choosing self-mastery over self-indulgence. If you're committed to this path, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Because this channel exists to support your evolution, not to entertain your ego. We've covered a lot of ground, and if you're still here, you're ready for the final truth. Love her. Desire her. Appreciate her presence in your life, but never worship her. Never place her on a pedestal so high that you have to shrink yourself to look up at her. Never make her the source of your worth, your joy, your reason for existing. Because the moment you kneel, you're no longer a man. You're a servant of the will, you're no longer choosing your path. You're being dragged along by forces you don't understand, wondering why you feel empty despite getting what you thought you wanted. Love is not the enemy. Love, real love, is one of the most profound experiences a human can have. But it becomes poison when it's built on need instead of choice, when it's motivated by fear instead of abundance. When you love someone because you're terrified of being alone rather than because you genuinely choose to share your life with them. The will, the biological drive, the instinct for reproduction and connection, it's not something you can eliminate. It's part of being human, but you can master it. You can observe it without being controlled by it. You can feel it without surrendering to it. And that mastery, that consciousness, that's what separates the rare man from everyone else. Your purpose is not to please. Your purpose is to evolve, to become more today than you were yesterday, to build something that matters, to live with integrity, strength, and vision. And if someone wants to join you on that journey, if they respect what you're building and add value to your mission, then you welcome them. But you never, ever compromise the core of who you are for the comfort of companionship. Master yourself, or the will master you. This is the choice in front of you every single day. Will you react or will you respond? Will you be driven by your cravings or guided by your consciousness? Will you chase validation or build value? The answer to these questions determines everything. If you understood this message, if it resonated in a way that went beyond intellectual agreement and touched something deeper, comment with the word will. That one word is your declaration. It means you're not here to be entertained. You're here to transform. You're not consuming content. You're committing to a higher standard. Share this video with one person who needs this message. Someone who's stuck in the cycle of need and disappointment. Someone who's sacrificing their purpose for temporary pleasure. Someone who's ready to wake up but doesn't know where to start. Be the catalyst for their transformation. And remember, this channel is your resource. Every video we create is designed to challenge you, to push you beyond your comfort zone, to give you the tools and perspectives you need to become the rare man. Subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on all notifications so you never miss an upload. Because what we're building here isn't just a channel. It's a community of men who refuse to settle, who refuse to be controlled by their instincts, who are committed to mastering themselves and creating lives of genuine power and purpose. The journey doesn't end here. This is just the beginning. Stay strong, stay focused, and never surrender your center. I'll see you in the next one.